What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the land of the dead. This is Marksman Triple O representing Deep Strike Gaming on episode 3 of 7 Days to Die. Day 3, episode 3. You kind of see what's going on here. Alright. So, if you remember the last video, which I remember it very well, I'm lying. Rocks, more rocks. By the way, the rock that I just broke, it's you get the most iron and rock ratio compared to the rest of the rocks that you can access in the game. Now, do you remember what I told you guys about recipes? You have to be careful with recipes because they will screw you over later in the game when it comes to leveling up. You have no choice. I know. Beginning of the game, fine. You know, do what you got to do if you want to gain a couple levels here and there. Just do not abuse the recipes. Especially for guns and the stuff that's easy to level up. Guns level up, make gunpowder, nitrate, and coal. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, that's it. Other than that, clothing. Who really cares about clothing? You want to read all the clothing books, you go for it, unless you want to spam the shit out of it later in the game, which I don't think I've done yet, because I was, no. So yeah, you have to be really careful if you want to actually surpass level, I don't know, let's say surpass level of 100. You know, you need to calm down on the on reading them. That's for sure. All right. I'm not sure. I think the game might have been running laggy when I recorded this. Because that's going to be stuck in certain bounce things. Scavenging, level 9. Scavenging is definitely one of the harder things to level up. It takes a very, very, very long time. Glass is always important in the future. You're definitely going to be getting as much of it as possible. I'm just trying to think what is the best way. Where? Glass. Always look out for the bottles and stuff on the floor too. You can. It only gives you one, but one's worth it in the long run. All right. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that people walk by and they don't even bother. They don't even bother taking the time to check it out. Like glass. Glass is very it's not as important, obviously, as brass or anything like that. But still, once you get farther in the game, you run out of bottles ridiculously quick just due to the fact that you need them to make the upgraded drinks. You need them to make, yes, when you use the upgraded drinks, you still get the bottles back. But when you're cooking, you know, you don't get the bottles back when you're making stew. You don't get the bottles back when you're making glue. You don't get the bottles back when you're making certain items, you know what I mean, that involve water. So you start burning through a lot really quickly. It's always good to have a stockpile. I don't say stockpile bottles, I say stockpile glass. So if you do have a shit ton of bottles and you don't need them all at this time, and if you do have a forge, throw them in the forge, print out the broken glass, turn the full bottle, I know it's kind of going backwards, but print out the broken bottles and make them into broken glass. This way they're easier to carry because I think it's a stack's 1,000 for broken glass instead of carrying 15 and filling your inventory with broken bottles. It's a time saver, that's for sure. Obviously, like you already know, the banks are by far the best place to get glass. By far. You end up walking out of there with at least 500, at least. I'm not sure the exact number because I didn't exactly count or pay attention, which I probably should. But hey, what are you going to do? So I had a comment stating that I should record a little bit more at night. which I totally agree. I definitely should. But the only reason I don't at this point in time is for the simple fact of grinding is long and boring when you're standing in front of a box, you know, pumping out, you know, stone hammers, etc. But I'll explain the grinding. Grinding at night, what I end up doing is I go out, I get a lot of different materials that I need: stone, rock, and wood. Stone, rock, and wood. Wow, I am tired today. Stone, rock, and grass. I just did it again. Let's try this again. Stone, wood, grass. Hey, 5th time's the charm. Okay, so you get a stockpile of that, and you make a chest, and you literally just sit there the entity of the night, and you massively spam making hammers. Plain and simple, it's to the point. You need to level it up. You need to level it up early because it's one of the more important things for when you actually start making real tools. But yeah, so you gotta take that into consideration. Sorry if I'm sluggish today. It was a very long day at work. I know it's no excuse. I will make up for it in the end. Yeah, so keep in mind always to the coal. Coal comes in handy if you're not mining, obviously, yet. You just rummaging around and trying to scavenge. You get the stuff when you get it. I'm standing in the rain in front of the store, trying to figure out what to do next. Also, ladies and gentlemen, give me a little time to get used to the editing software and to get used to the making of the videos. And I'm still new at this. I know. Okay, I'm still new at this. I've trying to figure out the best way to make the videos to start with. I'm technically got the equipment that a good percentage of YouTubers have, so I'm already a step ahead, I guess. Now it's just to learning how to use that equipment. That's going to be where it's going to end up making a difference. Like right now, obviously you don't see any really added effects. There's a couple fades here and there. But other than that, there's, I sped up the image also. Like, that's definite. Or else it would just be a very long, tedious walking around slowly with no stamina. And whoever's played this game before knows no stamina sucks. A lot. You might as well just lie down and crawl. But yeah, so even on, like I said, even on day 3, I'm still out scavenging. I'm still out rummaging, trying to collect as much stuff as possible, just due to the fact that it's, and here we go, no stamina. Alright, that was interesting. Donk. Nerd pulp. Nerd pulp. Nerd pulp. Nerd pulp. Nerd pulp. This is my temporary HQ, and by temporary I mean, God, I hope I'm not here for very much longer. Keep in mind too, if you have a random house that you've turned into a home in the beginning, find a way to mark it up. Make it stick out so you can easily find it when you're out and about and doing your own thing. Yeah, so what I usually do is I'll go outside and I'll slap a couple torches on the building, and I see. Where are you going? Go home, you're drunk. I really wish this game would fix itself when it comes to the hot and cold, though. That's a little frustrating. Like, I'm 69% wet, and I'm 17, 16, 15, 4. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna freeze to death. Where are you going? Where am I going? I'm gonna go here. And right now, what I'm doing is I pre-record the videos and edit it, get everything done with, and then I voice over to make things simplify it a little bit, I guess. But I'm waiting for components so I can record and do the voice at the same time, so it doesn't sound so random and I don't seem so lost, because it sucks. Always check on the buildings. Just, you know, it's... Wow. Am I actually going to stand here this whole time? Oh my god. What the... Dude, you just got hit. To the left, to the left. How the hell did you hit me down there? Stupid hacker. Ow, 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 ow. Shoot, yes, and off. Alright, let's time travel a little bit. Believe it or not, in the beginning of the game, you know, yes, I sometimes waste my time on getting the brass, and sometimes I don't even bother, just for the fact that, you know, in the future, you'll be coming up and hitting things once. You know, that makes a hell of a lot of difference other than sitting there for 15 minutes trying to do it. Fuck, I apologize for being on. Alright. And occasionally you'll see me do this as well. I mark houses just for the simple fact of I know. Yes. Shallow, pedantic. Moving on. Alright. So off to the wonderful Wizard of Oz we go. Ah, damn it. So, how's the weather in your biome? Mine's a lot of fun. Well, that was a long fade. Alright, been here. Oh, yeah, see? You see? Marking the buildings and not paying attention works out perfectly. But if you do have any questions, something I missed, or anything along those lines, feel free to comment, dislike, whichever one. Whichever one. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. Which is pretty much every night, give or take. I hear you. I don't hear you. Where'd you go? That's the only thing that's shitty about the beginning of the game. Well, it's the beginning of any survival game, beginning of any basic kind of game. You know, you start off with nothing. That's a guarantee. You start off with nothing, and slowly but surely, the game you get more powerful, and eventually you get to the point where you're OP and it's game over. But that's when the game actually gets interesting, and the Minecraft aspect kind of comes into play at that point, because then you have you know, you have your basic build, but then you have your time now, because you have your basic build, so if shit happens, well, you can go to your emergency base while you work on the master base, which I can't wait to do. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time with that door. Not yet. Well, I wish there was, like, you know, a way you could crouch and go under with the one block. You can crouch, but you still can't go through that one high block. It'd be nice if you could. Not a big thing. Just to complain. I like to complain. I like to rant a little bit too once in a while. If anybody's watching this video who knows me, they're shaking their head yes. It's guaranteed. Dead bodies on the roofs. There's always going to be dead bodies, bags, nests. There's always something on top of a roof. So it's always worth taking a look, no matter what level of the game you are. Because a lot of times, you know, in buildings like this, you have a knapsack, or if it's an office, or not an office, the apartment complex, or a store of some kind. You know, you go up there, there's usually a dead body in a suitcase, or a duffel bag, or a book bag, or, you know, garbage bag, something of relevance. And a lot of times it's where you find your, you know, machete, brass, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that, in the end, is going to be somewhat important. Why can't I see two axes? Creepy. I'm still poisoned. Didn't even realize it. Ugh. I am not touching that right now. Not happening. No. I'll come back to you later. Suckers. Yeah, so that's gonna be it almost for this episode. I know this is a pretty standard episode. Nothing overly exciting happens, but in the beginning of the game, not really much ever happens anyway. See the little trick I did there. Sometimes the front door isn't the best way to go through. And boom, see the garbage can? Brass. Bottles. Zip. D. Do. Oh yes. If you look, toilet. I picked up poop. If you look in these rooms, you always have a hidden one. So always take your time and go check out along the floor and whatnot, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's always a book bag or a purse or something along those lines hidden underneath. Other than that, these buildings are pretty much useless. Hey, take the glass. Take the glass. Take the glass. Fuck, take the candle. Stealing your candle. Can't touch me. I'm out of here. Can't touch this. Alright, so moving along. What to do. Again, I know this is repetitive, but the first 7 days in this game, this is your life. This is you're scavenging, you're rummaging through buildings, you're hoping the world appears in front of you before you fall off of it. You know, you're doing the legwork before you start getting comfortable. Which sucks. It does. It's boring, but it's necessary. It's a necessary boring. Ugh. What's in here? What's in here? Is it another safe or is it boxes? Books. And most of the time I don't even waste my time on picking up the lead, because eventually when you have a mine set up, lead comes pretty easy. You know, if you ever find a batch of ore, you're going to find a batch of lead. That's a guarantee. Coal, ore, same thing. You know, corn? We'll call it corn. Corn is very important. I love corn. Yeah, okay. Back to the brass fixtures. Get the brass fixtures. This is brass fixtures. 42, 41. Alright. Alright, so like I was saying before, ladies and gents, this is going to be close to the end of the video. I'm almost at my time. And, well, I guess it's going to come down to, if you enjoy it, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't enjoy it, dislike, comment, subscribe. I think. Why not? Yeah, sure. They both work. Anyway, see you next time.